Hello and good day everyone. In our topic we will discuss a suitable bioreactor for production of secondary metabolite from medicinal plant. So the main point is we will discuss our proposed culture type, bioreactor, optimal bioreactor condition and the expected outputs. Let's start with introduce our group members. Narmata Gurumurtari, Najwa Muhammad, Nur Haliza Naji and Nur Fatiha binti Muhammad. Planet secondary metabolite. Secondary planet metabolites are numerous chemical compounds produced by the planet cell through metabolic pathway derived from the primary metabolite pathway. Modern chemistry has described the role of the primary planet metabolites in the basic life functions, such as cell division and growth, respiration, storage, and reproduction. Primary metabolites include small molecules such as sugars, amino acid, tricarboxylic acid, or Krebs cycle intermediates, protein, nucleic acid, and polysaccharides. Eventually, the primary metabolites are similar in all living cells. The concept of secondary metabolites was first defined by Albrecht Castle, Nobel Prize he got for physiology or medicine in 1910. 30 years later, Zabek described them as end products. According to him, these products are derived from nitrogen metabolism by what he called secondary modifications such as diminution. In the middle of 20th century, advances of analytical techniques such as chromatography allow the recovery of more and more of these molecules, and this was the basis for establishment of the discipline of phytochemistry. Secondary metabolites have shown the basis various biological effects which provide the significant base for the use herbs in the traditional medicine in many ancient communities. They have been described as antibodies, antifungal, antiviral, and they are able to protect the planet from pathogens. Classification. Secondary planet metabolites are classified according to their chemical structure into several classes. The classes of secondary planet metabolites include phenolics, terpenes in containing, S containing. Phenolics probably constitute the largest group of planet secondary metabolites. They share the presence of one or more phenol groups as common characteristic and range from simple structure with one aromatic ring to highly complex polymeric substances. They contribute significantly to the color, taste, and flavor of many herbs, foods, and drinks. According to their structure, phenolics can be classified into simple phenolics, tannins, coumarins, and flavonoids. Terpene are the largest and most diverse group of planet secondary compounds. They are all derived chemically from 5 carbon isoprene units, assembled in different ways. Others are secondary metabolites containing nitrogen or silver atom. Phenolic compounds and their derivatives. Our main concern is caffeic acid, by esterification of which we get rosmarinic acid. Caffeic acid is an organic compound that is classified as hydroxynamic acid. Hydroxynamic acid are compounds containing an cinnamic acid where the benzene ring is hydroxylated. Here we show the different phenolic compounds and their examples. Rosmarinic acid is a caffeic acid ester, and a naturally occurring phenolic compound is a number of planets belonging to the Lamiaceae family, such as rosmarine's officinal rosemary, from which it was formerly isolated. It was mostly responsible for anti-inflammatory and antioxidative activity. Named after rosemary, Silva rosmarinus also found most notably in many Lamiaceae, is a polyphenol constitute of many culinary herbs including rosemary, barilla, sage, mint, and basil. Plants that are mainly producing rosmarinic acid in abundant: Dioxyphilum foresti, Scasandra chinensis, Osimum basilicoum, and Salvia floridis.
The first plant I choose on topic is the Dioxyphilum foresti. It is a terrestrial medical plant that is native to the mountain regions of Yunnan province, China. In traditional Chinese medicines, other parts of the Dolichos foresti are used as diuretic, astringents, and antibiotic agents. And these plants have a really good source of botanical compounds such as caffeic acid derivatives like rosmarinic acid, carotenic acid, and salvianic acid. Second is it also have a flavonoid glycoside, for example, azacitidine and epigenic derivative. And next is this is express of the Dolichos and parts of the Dolichos foresti. Next is we talk about the culture type. The still culture type for these plants is that we use woody plant liquid medium for the hairy root culture to grow in it, and also the condition is immersed in the darkness. And also the regenerated roots that will be cultivated on MS alga as the medium with the additions of 0.7% milligram per liter BPA and 2 milligram per liter IEA. Course of the suitable bioreactor for cultivation of the plants of the foresti is there are three types that will be used. Is first is the plant form bioreactor and Vita bioreactor, which is a DIS bioreactor system. Meanwhile, second is a nutrient sprinkler bioreactor. The nutrient sprinkler bioreactor system is which the liquid medium was sprinkled at specified intervals. Platform bioreactor and Vita bioreactor, both of which is a temporary immersion immersion system. And the platform bioreactor is containing 500 ml of liquid growth medium and is supplied with the air via Optimus pump and with an inlet capacity of 0.6 cube per hour. In the Vita bioreactor, it containing 250 ml of nutrient mediums, and the dosage of the liquid medium was controlled by using the PT 4.4 pressure pump with a capacity of 4.2 cubic per hour and pressure of the 1000 MBAR. And this both in this temporary immersion bioreactor, the medium was supplied to the shoot culture for 10 minutes every 80 minutes. The nutrient sprinkler bioreactor, it containing the 1000 ml liquid medium, and the medium dosage was controlled using the CH 8604 Paris 30 pump, and the operating time of the pump was 35 seconds every 2.5 minutes. And the constant medium temperature was maintained. And the shoot in all type of the bioreactor were cultured for 3 weeks. Normal bioreactor conditions. For the all bioreactor systems, the culture will be grown on the MS medium with the sucrose and the growth regulator with the 0.5 mg per liter BPA and also with 0.2 mg per liter of IAA. And the biomass of inoculum was around 0.5 gram of fresh weight, and 0.06 gram of dry weight for Vita, and 0.8 gram fresh weight for and 0.09 gram dry weight for plant form and nutrient sprinkler bioreactor. All the culture will be kept at 26 minus and plus 2 degrees Celsius under 16 hours photo period provided by the cool white fluorescent lamps. The step up of the foresti transfusion culture will allow us to obtain the significant amount of plant maturation in bioreactive compounds, and the most valuable system of the culture was the nutrient sprinkler, in which the biomass of shoot increased 40 times, around the 42 gram after 3 weeks of growth, and at the same period 131.5 mg phenolic compound and 96.9 mg of rosmarinic acid are obtained, and also more than the 20 mg acetyl derivative and around 10 mg epigenic derivative were produced. The culture growth in all type of the tested bioreactor, the transfusions of the Dolichos foresti show intensive growth after 3 weeks, and the higher multiplication rate, the number of shoot or parts per aspect was found to be about 70 for the NSB and 47 for Evita and 70 for plant form. And the highest is there for NSB with the 7 highest with NSB. Based of this graph chart, the obtained of the transformed Dolichos foresti shoots over a similar length regardless of the type of the bioreactor, and most shoots do not exceed around 1 cm in length, and this might be due with the eliminations of the apical dominance, and this is often observed in vitro culture, grows in the presence of the cytokinin in the medium. For the phytochemical analysis, the methanoic acids and in the hydrometallic extract was the rosmarinic acids, and all the tested bioreactor were found to be good source of the compound, and the highest amount of rosmarinic acids, 81.35 mg per gram dry weight, is contained by the production in the nutrient sprinkler bioreactor. We can conclude for the Dolichos foresti that is the most viable system for the development of the culture was the neutral spherical bioreactor. And in order to increase the therapeutic potential of the drug variety transfusion, it is necessary to fractionate the extract and obtain a more concentrated product with respect to the bioactive compounds. And the NSB system should culture with moderate antioxidant and antimicrobial potential. In addition, the lack of the cytotoxic activity of the extract towards the healthy cell indicates it is safe.
The next plant we searched was Ocimum basilicum. It is also called as a great or sweet basil and is a culinary herb of the mint family known as Lamiaceae. It is also used as medicinal herb. This plant is extremely sensitive to frost and grows best in warm climates. It acts on the digestive and nervous systems, easing flatulence, stomach cramps, colic, and also indigestion. In Turkish medicine, this plant is also used as for inflammatory and an antiseptic agent in throat, gum, and eye-related diseases. More importantly, this species is well known for its presence of secondary metabolites such as phenolic acids, including caffeic acid, chlorogenic acid, and also certain flavonoids. So when we searched on this plant, we found a paper that cultivates this plant for bioactive compound production with elicitation method. Their research with Ocimum basilicum produced multiple high-demand triterpenoids such as betulinic acid, arsenic acid, and oleanolic acid, together with rosmarinic acid in abundance. They cultivate these species in a suspension culture through bioreactor and strategic elicitation with methyl jasmonate in. This study proved that it is highly possible to produce multiple terpenoids in single culture system with optimum condition and cultivation. So, first of all, the pre-established fragile callus of sweet basil was raised in a MS medium supplemented with dichlorophenox acetic and kinetin. Then the callus were transferred into half-strength MS liquid medium supplemented with different concentration of naphthalic acetic acid known as NAA and fixed amount of kinetin for fast growth. Repeated sieving and subculturing on 10th day established fine suspensions within 6 cycles of passaging. Cultures were incubated on rotary shaker under dark conditions. Cells were harvested at 4 different stages of growth and the dry weight and growth index were determined. The best optimal suspension culture obtained when 3 mg per liter NAA and 0.25 mg per liter kinetin auxin combination introduced. The other auxin combination failed to produce rapid culture of basilicum, and 30th day yielded the maximum growth of the culture. The bioreactor type used in this cell culture was 10-liter stirred tank bioreactor, which was optimized through utilizing one marine impeller. When compared with shake flask culture, which yielded only 3.76-fold higher, this bioreactor yielded 8.44-fold higher biomass after 30 days. Certain bioreactor condition was maintained to yield higher biomass. For example, marine impeller that reduced shear stress, rotation speed at 100 rpm, aeration regulated at 2.5 liter per minute, pH at 5.8 and also temperature at 25 degrees Celsius. 3.5 liter of half-strength liquid medium, MS medium, and finally pre-optimized hormonal combinations. The outcome of this bioreactor cultivated culture was proved rosmarinic acid as the most abundant when compared to other triterpenoids. Apart, apart from that, this research used methyl jasmonate elicitor which showed higher Ra production at 200 micromolar concentration but not really at 300 micromolar. Other optimization steps followed in this study was methanol extraction method to recover maximum metabolites at 30th day, which is optimum growth phase for this plant. Most importantly, this study proposed that suspension culture yielded 1.79-fold rosmarinic acid production when compared to in vivo leaf extraction. We found other papers that researched on this plant with different bioreactors and also different culture types. For example, one paper used cambial meristematic cells, another paper used shoots of green leaf and purple leaf dark opal, and the other one was nodal explants with different bioreactor conditions and also bioreactor types. And these are the examples of different types of plants with using a different cell culture method. For example, this was plant cell culture method to produce rosmarinic acid with the different optimum conditions. And these were the plants that used in vitro shoot culture and also hairy root culture method to produce rosmarinic acids with different condition types. That's all from me. We will pass to the next presenter.
The next medicinal plant species is Salvia viridis. We referred to the article entitled The Optimization of Cultivation Conditions of Salvia viridis L shoot in the plant form bioreactor to increase the polyphenol production. So as you can see in the highlighted sentence, the study used large-scale cultivation of said shoots of the plant species, and the focus of the study is for the phenolic acid as the bioactive compound from this medicinal plant species. So specifically, the study used the apical meristem of the plant shoots for culturing during the first stage of the plant cultivation. A bit of background on Salvia viridis L. So this species can be found in abundance in the Mediterranean area extending to Iran, and it's an annual sage, meaning that it's a herb plant that grows especially during the summer season. It comes from the Lamiaceae family and used as a remedy for infectious diseases and inflammatory disorders, especially ones affecting the eyes and oral cavity. In traditional Turkish medicine, the species has been used as an inflammatory and antiseptic agent in diseases of the throat, gums, and eyes. So these species rich in polyphenols and terpenoids and mono and sequesterpene hydrocarbons observed in the essential oil of the Salvia viridis L. And the phenolic compound that can be found is the phenolic acids such as caffeic acid, chlorogenic acid, and also flavonoids. It also has potential as anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, and exhibit significant antioxidant activities. The aim is to try to establish a culture of S. viridis L shoots in the plant form bioreactor and then to evaluate the level of bioactive phenols in the plant material. As is the growth of cultures in a bioreactor system and their secondary metabolites accumulation could strongly depend on cultivation conditions, will need to examine the effect of changes in culture duration within 2 to 3 weeks, and then the frequency of immersing the culture in the medium, whether for 80 minutes or 170 minutes, and also the effect of culture modification through the addition of a fresh portion of medium after 2 weeks during the fed batch system stage. The first stage involved the inoculum comprising of 18 shoots containing the apical meristem is placed in the plant form bioreactor. Initially, the bioreactor contained 500 ml of MS medium with 0.1 mg per liter IAA, which is a plant hormone of oxide class, and 1 mg per liter mTOP. Then the explant is immersed with the medium every 80 minutes for 10 minutes, which means at 80 minutes is the gap between immersion. The cultures are grown in batch mode, and the shoot growth parameters are estimated after 2 and 3 weeks. And then the second stage, it is tested using fed batch system, which for this stage, the bioreactor initially will be containing 450 ml of growth medium and undergo 2 weeks of inoculation with the plant shoot. And then the 450 ml amount is supplemented with 300 ml of fresh medium, making total of 750 ml medium. Growth parameters are determined after 1 week and 2 weeks, and the total duration of the culture is 3 and 4 weeks. And then at the last stage, the number of daily immersion period was halved, which means the culture is immersed every 170 minutes for 10 minutes. The 170 minutes is the gap between immersion, and similar to the fed batch stage, after 2 weeks, the medium is partially refilled and growth parameters are determined 4 weeks after inoculation. Some of the advantages of using platform temporary immersion system is first, it allows manual operations to be streamlined and automated. It saves time and reduces risk of infection, reduces cost of procedure. It avoids complete and continuous immersion of plant organs in the medium that results in growth disorders, which called the hyperhidricity. It allows adequate amount of nutrients evenly dispersed in the medium and uptake by explants, and it allows monitoring and adjusting culture condition at different stage of the plant growth. And then it was found that the predominant phenolic acid found in Salvia viridis is rosmarinic acid, which is the highest at 2 weeks in batch culture. As we can see here, for the batch culture, the beginning after 2 weeks is 13.40 for the dry weight, and it increased to 16.57 after 3 weeks of batch culture. But then for fat batch culture, the beginning itself is already low at 6.86 dry weight and increased to only 11.57 after 4 weeks of fat batch culture. The most favorable growth parameters and system is using 4-week semi-continuous fat batch culture. It is shown in the study that there is significant growth of explants. Thus, if we use the semi-continuous fat batch culture, we can have increase in dry weight and also fresh weight percentage of the plant shoots. And then also there is significant proliferation ratio. However, for bioactive phenolic compound yield, the highest production will be using 3 weeks batch culture system as shown in the study. The total phenolic content observed is 10 times higher compared to the plant grown in soil for 4 months. The shoot culture growth is 2 times higher compared to the shoot culture grown in solid medium for 5 weeks. And the phenyl ethanoate content is 40% higher compared to the shoots in solid medium and aerial parts of plants that are grown in the soil for 16 weeks. So depending on the purpose of research, if we focus to have a high bioactive phenolic compound, we can opt to use the batch culture system instead of the fat batch culture. This is because the bioactive compound is more significant. Is more significant when the plant is grown in the batch culture system compared to the fat batch culture. Ideal bioreactor condition is also depends on the focus of the research. For example, if the research wants to have efficient growth parameters, we can use semi-continuous fat batch system, which the growth parameters will be observed after 3 to 4 weeks after cultivating the culture, and the immersion time is 10 minutes, which we immerse the explants in the medium with 80 minutes of interval, and the growth parameters of the chamber is 26 degrees Celsius with 80 to 90% humidity under 60-hour photo period in artificial light, specifically fluorescent lamp. And the medium used in the system is 450 ml of the growth medium, and then after 2 weeks of inoculation of the plant shoots, we add another 300 ml of fresh medium, which is the new medium, makes up the total of 750 ml of medium. If the research focuses to have efficient bioactive compounds production, we can use batch culture and observe after 2 to 3 weeks. The growth parameters of the growth chambers is similar to the fat batch system, as well as the immersion time. But then for the medium, for batch culture, we use 500 ml of MS medium containing 0.1 mg per liter IAA, which is the auxin, and 1 mg per liter mTOP.
In the nutshell, different plant species need different bioreactor type to produce maximum biomass, and the bioreactor condition must be optimized well so that we can achieve the best product concentration. Also, in the order to produce targeted secondary metabolites, we must choose the suitable plant culture and bioreactors together with the suitable elixir. Optimization is therefore necessary to yield the best concentration for biomass, as well as the plant phytochemical, as various plant species need different growth culture conditions. These are the references we used in this presentation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening.